Although several engines have been around for a while, it is becoming increasingly clear that there are more efficient ways to provide the necessary power to transport our cars from point A to point B. Toyota believes that hydrogen power is the way to go and that its new engines will render electric vehicles obsolete. It is time to examine the development of Toyota's engines in more detail and discover some other factors that contribute to Toyota's position as a market leader. How does Toyota achieve this? And can Toyota's hydrogen-powered internal combustion engine replace electric vehicles? Let's find out. Toyota is pursuing a multifaceted strategy to being carbon neutral, and the Japanese automaker may find success with it. Toyota has been a pioneer in hybrid and plug-in hybrid automobiles since it introduced the groundbreaking Prius in 1997. These vehicles paved the way for the present electric vehicle boom. Despite its heritage, the Japanese company has been reluctant to embrace the all-electric trend head-on. The controversy surrounding Toyota's opposition to the switch to 100% electric is rather thought-provoking. The ban on gas-powered cars by 2035 has already been authorized by legislators in California, Australia, Canada, and the European Union. So, automotive makers are under some pretty intense pressure these days to switch from gas to electric automobiles, especially as efforts to reduce carbon emissions keep escalating. But Toyota actually showed their disobedience pretty publicly by declining to ratify the COP26 agreement, which calls for the use of electric vehicles only by the year 2040. The corporation has purposefully dragged its feet on this whole issue, arguing that the rush to fully electric vehicles has left a lot of important considerations out of the conversation. Akio Toyoda, who was the former CEO of Toyota, honestly received a lot of criticism for taking such an unpopular position. Jaguar, the British luxury automaker, actually said publicly that it would go entirely electric by the year 2025, and that was back in February 2022. Cadillac and Volvo have also stated that they'll only sell electric vehicles after 2030. Meanwhile, Toyota keeps making headlines for appearing pretty uninterested in a market where so many rivals, including Honda, Ford, Mercedes, Volkswagen, and General Motors, intend to phase out gasoline-powered vehicles in favor of electric vehicles. Toyota has a reputation for being among the first to adopt new technologies. Though honestly, taking this path surprised us. However, its justification is really compelling. Toyota worries that making the change over to all-electric vehicles will not be feasible anytime soon. Akio Toyoda said that EVs are just overhyped and that having too many of them could be dangerous. His opinion is that the high price of electric vehicles combined with the lack of a supporting infrastructure renders their widespread adoption impossible. However, all of it is now hidden from the public because electric vehicles only make up approximately 1% of the global auto fleet. If the number of electric vehicles rises, reality will begin to set in slowly. The biggest issue to deal with when electric vehicles flood the market will be the demand for electricity to meet the load demand that electric vehicles will provide. By 2030, the United States needs to expand power output by 40%. In other words, the current electricity supply chain needs to receive investments totaling around $100 billion. Even if some regions of Europe and Asia currently have sophisticated grids as a result of increased electric vehicle customer demand, it would still be far from enough if every car owner switched to electric. Akio Toyoda has voiced reservations regarding electric cars, focusing instead on the necessity of hydrogen-powered technology in vehicles. Akio Toyoda predicts that this new engine will destroy the entire electric vehicle market. Aside from the limited range of electric cars, he has also expressed concern over the environmental effects of battery production and disposal, as well as the lack of infrastructure for charging. Indeed, Toyota's arguments make a lot of sense. First, there is not enough power to support electric vehicles. Second, fossil fuels are the main source of electricity in the world. Therefore, increasing the number of electric vehicles will not decrease emissions. Rather, it will just change their source. His detractors may all be mistaken based on Akio Toyoda's assertion that carbon, not combustion engines, is the real enemy here. From a broad perspective, it appears that electric vehicle adoption is definitely not uniform worldwide. While certain markets like those in Europe and China are moving more quickly than others, the United States is kind of a laggard. Then there are markets that are far behind with little to no EV infrastructure, like Africa. This disparity really suggests that the globe is just not yet prepared to forward the all-electric vehicles objective collectively. So Toyota believes that switching to all-electric vehicles will leave a sizable number of its consumers completely in the dark. In 2021, Toyota sold more than 10 million units in over 200 nations, making it the car maker with the greatest global market penetration. The business boasts a substantial market share across the board, especially in underdeveloped nations where charging infrastructure is honestly pretty subpar. By the year 2035, these areas just won't be able to build the infrastructure necessary to support electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are also highly pricey. Right now, electric vehicles are somewhat less expensive because of government subsidies that are intended to encourage people to purchase them. Though, it's honestly unclear how long governments will keep offering these incentives, especially once mass production of electric vehicles really gets going. Without those financial incentives, a lot of buyers just wouldn't be all that eager to spend a fortune on an electric vehicle. The corporation believes that switching to a mixed engine setup is actually more practical than going fully electric. They like to call it a balanced approach, which basically means focusing on hybrid vehicles. Toyota is in fact actively working on developing hydrogen-powered vehicles, and because of this, the materials needed to make lithium batteries are becoming pretty tough to produce. So in reality, a lot of individuals believe that there would be a shortage of lithium and battery-grade nickel, which will make it difficult to create the lithium batteries used in electric vehicles if hydrogen-powered engines are designed to their fullest capacity. This could actually prevent a significant delay in the transition to electric vehicles. One of the main issues with electric vehicles, automobiles, and trucks in particular, is sound. Nothing really compares to the thrill of depressing the gas pedal on an old classic muscle car, such as a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS with a large block 454, or a 1969 Ford Mustang with a 428 Cobra Jet. When an automobile is about to launch, you may hear the sound of the carburetors opening as the fuel pours into the engine, feel the power flow through your chest, and experience a complete burst of adrenaline. Electric vehicles cannot provide it, but the hydrogen-powered vehicle can because it operates in a similar manner. Nearly every corner in the country is home to a tiny local repair business. But as electric vehicles gain in popularity among customers, you will not have that option any longer. You might be able to repair their electric engine by going online and watching a few YouTube videos, but honestly, it is strongly advised that you take it to a certified mechanic who is experienced with the most recent technology. The amazing thing about hydrogen-powered engines is that they're purely mechanical and are actually quite similar to those regular fuel-powered engines we're all used to. So that basically means the little neighborhood shops you trust with your car will still be able to fix them. But honestly, hydrogen does come with its own set of challenges. It's very combustible, kind of tricky to handle and store, and when it burns, it produces nitrous oxide, which isn't ideal. So, Toyota's approach to carbon neutrality is a bit more diverse. They're considering a bunch of different technologies to reach zero emissions, unlike pretty much all the other automakers who are putting all their eggs in the electric vehicle basket. This mindset looks more and more prophetic in light of the fact that European nations are seeking ways to reduce their energy use due to the conflict in Ukraine and its effects on energy supplies. In fact, Switzerland has taken it a step further by advising electric vehicle owners to reserve the usage of their vehicles for emergencies like errands or supermarket runs. This policy may even become law. There is a route to success for hydrogen-powered cars, but it might ultimately be obstructed by electric vehicle dominance. Hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles include cutting-edge technology that has a lot of potential. They also have a number of benefits over conventional electric vehicles, including a greater range and faster charging or refueling. However, for hydrogen-powered cars to become widely used, a number of technological developments are required. At the moment, it costs a lot and requires a lot of fossil fuel to produce hydrogen. Infrastructure for hydrogen refueling stations is also lacking. Most importantly, the popularity of non-hydrogen electric vehicles may be preventing hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles from taking off.